Avast me hearties, and welcome to Pirate Talk Radio. In this podcast, I discuss everything from lore to updates to the future of the game, down to the nitty-gritty statistics and the player base. So please grab the helm, grab a sail, stand behind a cannon, don't miss the board, but more so raise the colors and let's set sail on this adventure. Welcome back to another episode of Pirate Talk Radio. This is episode 26, and I am Davram, and you, well, you're the audience, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you very much for making this podcast what it is, both on YouTube and on all of your podcasting apps. I really appreciate you, each and every one of you, for listening, liking, commenting, providing feedback, and all of the above. Thank you very much. And for those of you who've checked out the Patreon to help support this broadcast, again, I really, really appreciate you. If you would like your name called out and shown in the credits of the YouTube videos and or called out on this podcast, you can go over to patreon.com and choose a subscription tier which meets your needs. But again, thank you very much for making this podcast absolutely fantastic and something I look forward to. Though this week we're really late on possible, and something that I just enjoy talking about and researching even every single week. So there you have it. Thank you again. So we got a Sea of Thieves news. It was a little different as we didn't have our wonderful leader Joe Neat on, but we got a sneak peek and a look at the upcoming patch for the remainder of the season. So when we first heard about seasons last year, end of last year going into 2021, we heard that they will be a 3-month long thing that will be divided into basically 3 updates. The updates are supposed to be small content, quality of life, with the large season being the larger content update. And season 1 was the first time that we actually had the opportunity to see what this is going to look like, because we had heard about it, but we haven't seen it yet. So now that we're entering the final month, we have about just over 4 weeks to go in season 1 before season 2 is upon us. And I think it's time that we start looking at not only what's coming, but also how the season went. How did the season go? Obviously, each and every player out there experienced the season in a different way and probably has their own feedback and has their own mindset on it. But in general, a business or a gaming company, there are certain statistics that you want to look at and certain things you want to figure out as far as if it was a success or not. So we're going to look at a couple of those numbers today. We're not going to dive too much into looking back on the season today, just a little bit. But we do want to take a look going into this final month of the season. How's it gone so far? What have we liked, or what have I liked? What haven't we liked? And again, I've looked on Reddit and I've looked on Twitter and YouTube videos and live streams. So I have a general understanding of how the community on the different levels has perceived this season. And then obviously, like we do a lot on this show, we will dive into the actual statistics and we will see what the player base. Obviously, in any sort of business, anytime you're shopping at a store or playing a video game, as a consumer of that video game or a customer of that store, the best way to, well, tell the developers or tell the company how you feel is you vote with your feet. If you're coming back and coming back and coming back every single day or every week, obviously you like it. If people are leaving your business, if people are leaving your store, if people aren't playing your game, well, they're voting with their feet and they're telling you that what you're doing is wrong. And as we've known in previous episodes, most of 2020, Sea of Thieves was doing everything wrong. They were hemorrhaging players every single month, really bad. And then as we prepared for 2021, they put out some really good updates and some really good quality content and some nice fixes. And then going into season 1, everyone was hyped up and we saw Sea of Thieves hit some heights that it's never hit before. ending its 2-year long reign, and we're about to hit the 3-year anniversary. So what has happened since season 1? We're going to look at that as well. But let's first talk about the Sea of Thieves news that we just got, I believe, on the 10th, or no, like the 12th or the 13th, I believe that tweet went out. Obviously, we heard that it's the 3-year anniversary. Anyone who's been playing Sea of Thieves for a while knows that they do large things for their anniversary. However, we didn't get too many details about it. They said they're going to bring in the 3-year anniversary in style, and well, that's all we really got. We got some pirates on a table dancing around and having a good time, but we didn't really get too much more than that. It was very vague, and just aside from some pirates dancing with some old cosmetics, nothing new in the video for the 3-year anniversary, we didn't see anything that was exciting or drove some sort of excitement for the 3-year anniversary. However, the 3-year anniversary does so happen to coincide with this patch. And in this patch, we have some interesting new things. So we'll talk first about the Pirate Emporium and some of the new things you can purchase. Now, one thing I can say is if you backed me into a corner and you said you have to rate Sea of Thieves Season 1 on a scale from 1 to 10, and all you can rate it on, the only thing you can rate it on, was the art team. So the team who builds the cosmetics and designs all that stuff, that's the only thing you can rate it on. You can't rate it on the bugs. You can't rate it on the story. You can't rate it on it. The only thing you can rate it on is the look of the art. And I would be forced, and I would be happy to rate this a 10 out of 10. The Sea of Thieves and the rare art team that comes up with these ship skins and these pirate skins and comes up with all of these fantastic, beautiful pieces of art is an amazing team. An absolutely amazing team. And if I were to rate Season 1 based on the Frostbite stuff and based on all the equipment for the different factions and the Dark Adventures, the Dark Adventures set is just, I can't afford it, but it's absolutely amazing. And the new ship sets, just a 10 out of 10. That art team is, above all else, brilliant. But we can't just talk about that, because you could honestly put out a Sea of Thieves art book with all these beautiful designs, and I could buy the book and I could flip through and find the same enjoyment in looking at these beautiful pieces of art, from weapons to pirates to ships, and be happy with that. Obviously, when we rate a season or something like that, we have to look deeper than just the art, but kudos and well done to the art team over at Rare for just outstanding creations each and every update, each and every patch. And sure, some people aren't happy with the prices of the Dark Adventure set. They're not happy with, buying things on the Pirate Emporium. That's fine. No one can question the beauty of the stuff, though. That's just, you can't question it. It's just so good. So with the March 18th update, I don't believe it has a name. We're going to call it by the event. So I'm going to call it the Vault Raiders update, even though I don't think there's an official name for it yet. That's just the event that we'll talk about in a little bit that's coming with this patch. We get a new set of weapons, costumes, and a ship set from the Pirate Emporium, and it is the Sea of Sands ship set. Now, you might say Sea of Sands. Like sands, that sounds desert. Well, if you're a fan of Aladdin or Arabian Nights or any of that kind of fantastical genie and magic coming out of lamps and things like that, you're absolutely going to love this ship set. It's so inspired by Disney and Arabian Nights and just fantasy in the desert. It's gorgeous. Lots of beautiful colors. I really like the light blue teal that they've used on the lamp or the glass looking pieces, from the cannon to the helm and the capstan. And they even have it on the weapons and the costume. The ship has a wonderful figurehead on the front that's like a genie's lamp from Aladdin that glows that nice, like, aqua / light blue color. It's a fantastic ship set. Well done again with that art design. Now, some people may say, well, it doesn't really fit in Sea of Thieves, and you would kind of technically be right. But when it comes to those ship sets, and we're in a fantasy land, sometimes come up with something cool and interesting, right? Like the frog ship set that doesn't really match in Sea of Thieves either, but it's a cool ship set, and nonetheless, it people liked it and people bought it. So there you go. If you're a fan of Disney and Aladdin, you're probably going to buy these costumes, these weapons, and this ship set. I know I'm going to. But they're absolutely brilliantly designed. They're beautiful. The color decisions were on point. Just an amazing, amazing job. We also have 2 new pets. So if you've got the Monopoly game, one of these 2 pets you already have. So they're introducing the Gold Curse Macaw and one of the dogs, a Gold Curse dog, to the game. So again, if you've already bought Monopoly and you've cashed in that particular code, you already have the macaw, so you don't have to worry about it. I was kind of hoping that they would hold off in putting that macaw in the game for a while and make the people who bought the Monopoly have something kind of special and exclusive for a little bit longer. Really, they've only had it for a couple weeks of exclusivity, so that's kind of depressing to me. But it's still, I know a lot of people like that macaw and want it, and it seems like Sea of Thieves is kind of moving away from that exclusive stuff. So there you go. So you'll be able to get the macaw and one of the dogs and the gold curse. And like I said, they look really cool. I'm not a pet guy, so I've got a couple of the pets, but honestly, I think they're kind of useless in the game. They add a nice little role play purpose or a little fun, but in general, I think they're annoying. I think they get in the way, and they cause more issues with interacting with things, which the game already has plenty of issues with. So in general, pets aren't my thing, but I understand why people like them and why Sea of Thieves keeps bringing out beautiful models for new and exciting pets, because there is some fun to be had with them. I'm just not a huge fan of them. A new set of emotes, including your free emote, which we'll be talking about in a minute. These emotes look really cool. I think they're continuing on this very, very successful trend, which I've talked very highly about in the past, which is the combo emotes using the weapons. So based on the weapons that you have equipped will determine what action that your pirate does. So if you've got a sword, you have a specific action that you do with the emote. If you have a Eye of Reach or a blunderbuss or a flintlock, each of them have their own unique set of look and feel to the emote, but it's still only one emote, which I like because you basically get 4 emotes in one, and it's cheaper. I know some people want, the blunderbuss pose where you're standing there with your blunderbuss on your shoulder, put the sword there. I get it. You want, but I like the combination. I like the uniqueness that allows you, if you're a sword player or a flintlock player, to kind of have that unique emote to use while you're sailing the seas. Your freebie emote for this update will be the Raffle or the Raffle Copter emote. It's a cute little emote where your pirate lays down on the floor and their legs are up in the air and they're laughing and kicking their legs. It's cute and adorable. So again, that's your freebie, is the Raffle emote for this update. They're adding the Dark Adventurers clothing. Now, this isn't going to be in the Pirate Emporium. This will be down in the Pirate Legend hideout for Pirate Legends. And if you're like me, you still haven't bought the other stuff because, quite frankly, you don't have the cash on hand to buy it because it's super expensive. But this will close out the Dark Legends set. We already have the ship, we have the weapons, we have the equipment. Now we're getting the clothing. And the clothing looks pretty cool. I like the fact that it's black and that really nice, like dark maroon or bloody color with the accents. It's a really nice looking set. It's very unique across the board. I really like it. I just wish I had the gold to get it, but quite frankly, I don't have the time to farm up that much gold. I will get it in time as the game survives, if it survives. I throw that in there because we'll talk about that in a little bit. Don't fret, it's not going anywhere right now, but there are definitely concerns. But yeah, it's a great ship set. It's a great weapon set, equipment set, and now we're going to have a great clothing set. Now, I'm not one of those people that I like to wear the entire set of something. I like to mix and match and make my pirate kind of feel alive, like not that he just went to the store and said, I will take the Ruby Splashtail clothing and equipment and weapon set, and That's just not me. I like to mix and match. I always get a lot of shit when I'm playing World of Warcraft and I'm changing up my transmog all the time and I'm taking bits and pieces of other things. I'm combining it together into one nice look, and I do that in Sea of Thieves quite a bit. So I take bits and pieces, and well, that's just me, and that's how I like to design things. It's just more fun that way. I like to be creative in that way. So we get the Dark Adventurers clothing set. Now, as far as the 3-year anniversary is concerned with this update, the only real thing that we got was a login bonus. So at least that's been announced. Who knows what else they're planning, but there will be a login bonus, which will again be an exclusive for those players logging in like they do every year. They have some sort of exclusive. They had the pirate sword with the skull on it. I believe that was the 2-year. Obviously, the day 1 eye patch they had. They've done different login bonuses for their different anniversaries that are exclusive and you never see them again, which, quite frankly, I like that about games, that they honor the people who are playing the game at that very moment and they're loyal fans who keep coming back to play the game and play the game and play the game. So I appreciate that very much, that they still have some exclusive stuff. I just wish they would broaden that out and make things more exclusive. But just so you all know, and you can put it in your calendar, the 3-year anniversary login bonus will be available to you by logging in between March 18th and March 25th. So again, March 18th to March 25th, and you will get the Captain sales. Now these sales are really, in my mind, brilliantly designed. There is a piece of loot that if you play Sea of Thieves, you get every single day that you play. For new players, this piece of loot is coveted because it's worth a lot. For veteran players, this is the thing that you probably turn in the most every single play session. And that is the gold Captain's chest. And they're very unique. They've got the ruby on top. They've got the ruby on the front. They have very intricate gold work on them. Lovely designed chests. These sails, actually, they're a dark black with kind of a gray detail and a dark maroon red ruby on them. And the design of them matches the same design that are on the Captain's chest. So those nice angled pieces of gold on the Captain's chest, those are the detail pieces in the gray on black for these sails. I think they're lovely. They don't look like they glow, so that's bonus points for me. Excuse me. They match the Dark Adventurer set very nicely. And they match other sets that go together with that nice dark or gray look. Again, knocked out of the park. These design teams, the design team that focuses on art in this game, knocks it out of the park every single time. And it was a great take from taking an iconic chest in this game and making it into a look of the sails. Absolutely love it. Absolutely beautiful. Also, with the 3-year anniversary, they're launching a new comic. And this will be a free comic that you can get. I believe I've used this website before. They're a very good website if you're a comic book fan. I'm assuming they got a huge boost during COVID where people couldn't go to comic shops and get their pulls. But this is comixology.com. That's COMIXOLOGY, I believe, if I spelled that right. Comixology.com. The link will be in the show notes below, so you can check that out. But starting on March 18th, with the launch of this update, there will be a new webcomic or new comic book series hosted on Comixology.com where you can go and read it. And the first one looks like it's based around Pendragon and the Ashen Lords. So if you're a big fan like I am with the lore and the story of this game, check that out. It's like I said, it's free, and I believe, like I said, I used to use this app before I used to go to comic stores. I believe there is an app for your mobile phone, your iPad, and tablets that you can just, take your basic comic book with you wherever you go. I actually, when this, news came out, I was like, oh man, I haven't been to a comic shop in a long time, obviously because of COVID, but I might need to download this app again so I can start to read my updated like Green Lantern and stuff like that. So again, a great app, and I'm glad Sea of Thieves is using that app to provide this free content for everyone, especially you lore hounds out there like me who want to know more about the story. I've been on this huge kick recently, learning the backstory, the writing behind the production of Star Wars, watching documentaries on all of the Star Wars, how they were made, how Lucas came up in his head of the original idea, and how it evolved as he saw these characters on the screen and changed the script and changed the story arc and etc. It's so awesome to see that in a franchise I love. And since I absolutely love Sea of Thieves, and I've got the books that I've started to read so we can talk about lore more on this podcast, seeing that there is now going to be a comic book, which again extends the idea of lore in this story from outside of the game. Now, for those of you out there who just play the game and you don't care about the books, or you watch videos from Falcore, or you listen to the Keelhaul podcast, or you listen to my podcast, and when we talk about lore and we discuss these things, maybe that's all the lore you get and that's enough for you, and that's absolutely fine. I'm absolutely in love with the story of Sea of Thieves, so having another outlet to see what is going on in this world that I've spent so many hours in is absolutely fantastic, and I look forward to checking out that free comic on comiXology.com on March 18th. Now for the event, and I said it earlier, I called the patch the Vault Raiders patch. That's really the name of the event, and I have no idea what the name of the patch actually is, but it goes right along with the theme that they've had every single patch of this season. We saw the introduction of the new Merchant Alliance quests. We saw the Gilded Phoenix stuff, which honestly, if you look at it, matches the Merchant Alliance costumes and stuff really closely. So we've had kind of an expansion of the Merchant Alliance cosmetics. We had the Order of Souls event where we had the Order of Souls weapons. We've got the Festival of Fishing, which we'll talk about in a minute. We've got the fishing poles. We've been slowly this whole season churning through the different companies for different reasons. Maybe it's voyages, maybe it's killing skeletons, and maybe it's fishing. Well, there's been one particular very, very important faction which has been left out, and that is the Gold Hoarders. Well, you don't have to wait any longer, because the Vault Raiders event will start on March 25th and go through April 15th, which I assume will be the last event going into Season 2. I would expect Season 2 to launch somewhere around April 15th. Nothing's been announced yet. I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard anything. I have no idea. But I would assume, based on the cadence that they're doing, April 15th sounds about right. It would be about on that 3-month timeline from February and the end of January. I would guess that we would see Season 2 around then, and this last event and this last patch would take us through to Season 2. Now, I'm not going to get into this too much right now, but when we start to talk a little bit later, the disappointments of this season and the wins of this season, one thing that I'm going to mention, like I've mentioned before, is the reused content. The fact that they're just reusing things over and over again. The fishing event, we're catching the fish, the same thing we did for the achievements. You know, for new players, that's great. For us veteran players, we've already done this. Why are we doing it again, right? For the merchants, that was something new. That was brilliant. That was brand new to us. So it was something new and cool to do. We've already had an entire patch dedicated to a ridiculously long grind in the Gold Hoarder vaults. The Gold Hoarder vaults, which in my mind were just reused content to begin with, because you do the same type of puzzles and everything. The only thing new was the magical compass, which was kind of cool, but stupid buggy. And the map that, well, sometimes doesn't load your X, but those are bugs, and we're not going to get into that right now. But now we have the Vault Raiders event, and based on the news, it sounds like it's just going to be another event where we're just grinding out more and more vaults. And again, for new players who might not have went through the Gold Hoarder vaults when it first came out, this is great for them. They can check out the new achievements. They can continue the achievements if they haven't got it done yet, and they get rewarded for doing so. And just like anything else, it's giving you renown for your season pass to complete that if you haven't completed it already. The problem with this is, for a lot of players, we've already done this, and it's nothing new. And the issues with the game continue. And so when we start looking at the numbers, we're going to see if the player base is going up like it did at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, we'll know that Sea of Thieves is listening to the community. This is what we want to see. But if we look at those numbers here in a little bit and they're going down, we know that this recycled, reused content with continual bugs that are not being fixed is what the community doesn't want to see. So we'll look at that in a little bit. But in my opinion, this is, again, a massive blunder and a big mistake by Sea of Thieves, just taking stuff from the past, basically taking an entire update from the past and reusing it. And the only thing new about it is you get a new weapon set. There is a Gold Hoarder weapon set. In my mind, it looks janky. It looks bad. Obviously, I will do the event and get it, and it'll sit in my chest just like a lot of the other janky and bad-looking things that, again, I don't like. Beautifully designed, by the way. Still beautifully designed, meets the Gold Hoarder thing. I just think it looks janky. I know a lot of people liked the Lunar Festival weapons. Beautifully designed, amazing color, great artwork. I just personally, my personal view of the items, I think they look janky. But that's not to discredit the art behind it, because the art behind it's flawless. It's great. So you get to look forward to March 25th through to April 15th, the final event of Season 1, or what we think will be the final event of Season 1, the Vault Raiders event focused around the Gold Hoarder vaults, where you can unlock your Gold Hoarder weapon set. A few other dates you may want to keep in mind, just like with the 3rd anniversary login bonus, another thing for the 3rd anniversary, but again, it's something they've been doing, so it's nothing like, woo, 3 years. It's just kind of like, okay, you've just done this a few weeks ago. You're just continuing it. We've got Twitch drops, so tuning into a Twitch partner between the dates of March 19th, so that's the day after the patch, to March 23rd. If you tune into a Twitch streamer each day, keep in mind, you don't just tune in one day and get everything. Every day has a different piece of loot that you can get by watching a Twitch streamer, a Twitch Sea of Thieves partnered streamer. When you're looking in the Sea of Thieves category, make sure you see Twitch drops enabled under their video before you click on them. Yes, unfortunately, there are streamers out there who are not Sea of Thieves partners that will put clickbait on their video title that will say Twitch drops or drops, and they don't have access to them. So make sure you see on the Twitch page drops enabled under their video, because that means they officially have drops turned on and you will get your reward from it. Don't fall for clickbait. Please don't. I'm sure those streamers are great. I'm sure the clickbait, just like on YouTube, they're trying to grow their business. They're trying to get that, but ultimately it's a dishonest way of doing it. And again, if they ever do want to be partnered with Sea of Thieves, I hope Sea of Thieves sees these things and really thinks twice about, having someone who's throwing clickbait on there and basically lying to people to get people to come view their stream. So again, Twitch drops enabled under the video. March 19th through 23rd, you will be able to complete your Gilded Phoenix equipment set, and you will also be able to get the brand new Horn Pipe emote. Please, again, make sure, if you want these things, tune in each day and watch for 20 to 30 minutes and claim. Make sure after you watch for 20 and 30 minutes, you go to your Twitch wallet by clicking your profile icon in the upper right corner of the webpage, scrolling down to where it says wallet, click on the wallet and claim your item. If you are not watching every day and you are not claiming it, you will not get it. You will lose that because it is time sensitive. If it's not claimed within a certain amount of time, it's gone. If you don't watch on that day, you cannot go back and get it. It is gone. These are time exclusive items, which again, I like, but for a lot of folks out there who might not understand how Twitch works, how Twitch drops works, it's very, very important that you tune in every day and claim your item. Claim it. Go up to your profile, scroll down to wallet or Twitch drops, whatever that button is on Twitch. I can't remember. It's under your profile. It's down near the bottom by logout. Click it. You'll see the item that you got. It'll tell you what streamer you watched and hit claim. Make sure you get it. And then it takes up to 72 hours to appear in your inventory. But if you have proof on your Twitch account that you claimed it, it'll say claimed. It'll show it there like an inventory item in a video game. It'll say it. It'll say you've claimed it. You actually have then proof that if it doesn't show up in your account, you can open a ticket with Rare and they'll get that resolved for you. So that's it. That is everything that we got, or that is coming in the next update, which looks like it'll be the last update to close out Season 1. So I want to take a moment here, and all of you know what time it is, and if you've been listening for a while, it's that advertising time. It is that advertising time, and what I want to draw your attention to on this particular red ad is a organization and a place that I go to a lot for software and for video games, because I love to support charity. And Humble Bundle has been supporting charity for a long time. And part of that is they also support content creators. So if you use the link in the show notes below or the description of the video, and you purchase anything from Humble Bundle with that link, you get the choice. Now, when I say you get the choice, you will get to say where your money goes. I strongly suggest grab that fader and slide it all the way to the charity. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about the podcast. We'll be fine. Give it to that charity. If you feel the urge and the need to move that slider a little bit to me so I get a little bit of money for showing you Humble Bundle, that's great and I appreciate it, but I would rather you slide that slider all the way so the charity gets all the money. And now, if you've never used Humble Bundle before, it's everything from books, ebooks, the audio books. It goes from games to also software that you can get. In fact, I got Vegas Premiere, I believe it was called, the video editing software, which we've been using to start learning how to video edit for YouTube. I got that for $16, the entire suite. Absolutely fantastic. Now, for the month of March, there is a limited time. Get all March games for $12. And some of these games include Control, XCOM Chimera Squad, and Elex. So there are several games that you can get by going down, and that is, again, the Humble Choice bundle. Some other games in this is Kingdom of Two Crowns, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, Hot Shot Racing, Peaky Blinders, Cyberhook, Ageless, Boreal Blade, Wildfire, and Pester Quest. So a lot of things there that you can get for only $12. They also have the ability for you to sign up for a monthly subscription where each month you will get a set of games that you can choose from and get, or you can buy these one-off. But they have a variety of other things such as the Jackbox games, Nio, I believe that's how you say, Nio 2, the complete edition, that's on here. Evil Genius 2, Beat Saber, Temtem, which is like the new cool Pokemon game, I guess. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 bundle, Call of Duty Cold War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Maker 2, Factorio, Stardew Valley. The list goes on and on of top name games that you can come and get at a discount and decide where your money is going. And like I said, if you want to go there and buy a game or buy a subscription and give and slide that slider bar towards me and give myself and my content money, I appreciate that. But again, I always encourage you, throw that slider bar all the way over for that charity, because I promise you, that charity needs a lot more help than myself to do whatever they're doing. All right, now back to Sea of Thieves and the Hunter's Call Festival of Fishing. Now, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, you'll know one thing. Davrim hates fishing. I do not fish. I fished for a while in this game, and quite frankly, World of Warcraft fishing, Minecraft fishing is not bad because I can set up a macro and it does it for me. Sea of Thieves fishing, it's just not my thing. It's not my style. I know a lot of people enjoy it, and props to them for enjoying it. I know Captain Logan, one of my good friends over at the Keel Haul podcast, he has been fishing his little heart away to get all the fishing poles and the title of this event. Not me. Here's how I fish. I attack your ship. I board. I kill you. I steal your fish. I sink you, and then I go turn in your fish. That's how I fish, okay? I'm a pirate. That's how I fish. But for those of you who do like fishing, the Festival of Fishing, I'm sure, has been really fun. However, there is one major blunder that Sea of Thieves did with the Festival of Fishing. They did not tell players, which they have a habit of doing, that the voyages are locked per week. So we're probably going in now, the third week of the Festival of Fishing of 4. If you didn't do week 1, you're out. Like, you can still complete things and you can still get fishing poles, but if you've got a unlock that requires the voyage from week 1, you're shit out of luck. Unless you can find someone who purchased the voyage and still has it with them. And that's really disappointing. That is really disappointing because Sea of Thieves hasn't done this, to my knowledge, in the past. And if they do, they put something out there that you can see it's time sensitive. Or they announce it on Sea of Thieves News that it's going to be time sensitive. This was just kind of out of the blue, out of nowhere, where players who didn't get the week 1 voyage done, they just were like, what? Like, what? And I even remember watching Spammels, who's one of my favorite streamers to watch, in the morning. He's a UK streamer, lots of energy, a lot of fun. Make sure if you would like, if you want to see a family-friendly, wholesome, fun streamer who loves Sea of Thieves to its core, and you're up in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, go check him out over twitch.tv/Spammels. He's a lot of fun. He has a lot of fun with his little banana shaker. But he was really disappointed because he did not complete that voyage from week 1, and he doesn't get that check mark. And him, like me, we're collectors, and we like to have those check marks, and we like to have those titles. Regardless if we're going to use the items or the titles, we like to have them. We're completionists. And so it was very disappointing to see and hear that I don't get the time to play Sea of Thieves as much as I used to. In fact, there's other reasons I don't play Sea of Thieves because of other issues, which we'll talk about in a little bit. As much as I used to. I play maybe 1 or 2 hours a week, and that's about it. And the fact that I was busy on week 1, and I've been busy on week 2, and I haven't had a chance to really log in, I miss out on that stuff. Regardless if I like fishing or not, I miss out on it. And it's very depressing, because like I said, I don't remember Sea of Thieves doing these time-limited things where it's week, and you don't have the entire event to complete everything. Very disappointing that happened. So, if you haven't logged in to do Festival of Fishing and you're a completionist, well, you're behind. You're going to miss out on week 1. You might have already missed out on week 2. Get yourself in there and get that weekly voyage done as soon as you can, because if you don't, you're going to miss it. And like I said, that was a huge miss for the community. It was very frustrating for a lot of players who didn't know that's how it worked because nothing told you that's how it worked. That would have been a prime time use of the mysterious notes. However, people aren't even looking at mysterious notes anymore because every time you wake up, you have that dumb wake up thing where you pull the dagger out of the table, and it's just annoying. So no one's even paying attention to it anymore. As we talked about when that feature is released, it's an absolutely fantastic feature, but because it happens every single time, people get numb to it. So when there is something, in fact, new that you should know about and you should pay attention to, you just X out of that beginning thing. You just get up and put the stupid paper away and move on because you see it every single time you get into a server. So they really need to rethink their message board system, which is a great system, but it's not a great system the way it's implemented. like unfortunately a lot of things that Sea of Thieves does. It's a great system in theory, but it was executed poorly. And yet again, we have for people who like to fish, a great new thing. We have not really had hunters call not bounties, but hunters call voyages like this before. It's great. Even the way they've themed it with the bait, you have to catch 2 different types of fish with the same type of bait and 1 fish in an area that doesn't require bait. And they've done that each week. So we can anticipate in these final weeks of this event, we're going to see the exact same trend. Same type of bait and 1 fish with no bait. It's an absolutely fantastic rhythm that they put in here. It's a great system. It's a great introduction of a new type of voyage, even though it's not something that applies to me. It's great for players who like that kind of stuff. But the fact that they made it time sensitive weekly and did not outwardly tell you, and again, they may have through their message board wake up note thing, but everyone's numb to that by now. No one looks at that paper. Very few people do unless you're a new player. So it was very disappointing, poorly executed by Rare. And just again, super, super disappointed in the fact that I was watching the stream with Spammels, and you could tell that he was a little distraught over it. It was just really a bummer, because I know how much he likes collecting things, and he's such a nice and energetic guy that loves this game. And to see him kind of distraught over something that he wanted to do because he didn't know that it was time limited is just kind of depressing to watch. And that is a great segue into my next topic and the final topic that we're going to talk about in this week. And I've labeled it in my book 2 different ways. The first one I labeled earlier this week when I was taking my notes, watching streams and stuff. I labeled it first as streamer rage, with rage capitalized all the way across an exclamation point. And then as I was putting my notes together for the actual recording today, I relabeled it creator woes and community image. Creator woes and community image. Throughout this week, I've ingested quite a bit of Sea of Thieves content. May it be Captain Falcore or Spammels. May it be Boxy Fresh, Beardageddon, or Shockwave, or YouTube videos from Pace22, Wayland, or Kabobbles. I've ingested a lot, and that's what happens when I'm taking notes on this show. I watch a lot of content because I'm not watching it to be entertained by the crazy amazing PvP or Falcore's goofy videos and troll techniques. That's just an added bonus. I'm watching it because I want to see in their streams and in their videos how they're portraying the game to the community and how they're portraying the game to the audience. Captain Falcore is a huge content creator, both on Twitch and more so on YouTube, for his lore videos and his speculation videos of where the story is going to go. Pace22 is known as the biggest Sea of Thieves streamer on Twitch and a massive YouTube personality for his PvP and the originator of the Tuck play, sneaking aboard and hiding in all black. But we've seen a trend. Now, Pace, because he focuses so much on PvP, we see very vividly and blatantly in our face the issues with combat in this game. I was watching one of his videos just right before I came in here. I was taking my final notes for this recording, and I was watching a video, and in a 20-minute video, I counted in his combat, when he was actually in combat, I counted him saying hit reg in hit reg issues, or I'm getting hit regged out of my mind, over 20 times in a 20-minute video. That's almost saying hit reg once every minute. Now, he was in the heat of battle, and obviously it was just, he was calling out to his teams, hey, I shot this guy, hey, it didn't register, hey, I shot this guy, I need someone to shoot, It was call outs, but hit reg out of my mind, hit reg. Are you serious, game? Hit reg out of my mind. And it just, and I'm talking, we're talking hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of views on his videos. And players and community members are seeing this person known for combat, known for amazing PvP in this game, pointing out and showing off a horrible situation that the game has been in and continues to be in every single day, where their combat is just fucking broken. And it looks bad. And it looks bad. Captain Falcore, the beloved Captain Falcore, the giant pirate troll of the Sea of Thieves, with his amazing but short videos on lore and speculation, and sometimes, quite frankly, just to troll the crap out of the audience, which I personally enjoy, is a huge love fan of this game. You can see it every day in his live streams. You can see it in the video production of his videos. He loves this game, and he wants to paint it in the best light he can. But as a partner and a fan, it is his right, and to be honest, his responsibility to call out when things aren't good. The problem is, I have never seen him so passionate and just so down on the game as I have in this past week. There were several times he was streaming and he was playing like he normally does, doing voyages, engaging in PvP, and he would just get down and words coming out of his mouth like, just fix the game. I'm done here. Like, I'm done. Just fix the game. Stop with the content, the events, and just fix the game. Like, you could tell in the passion of his voice, he was so frustrated at the mounding and the compiling of bugs in this game and issues in this game that have not been resolved for months and years, is just boiling up to a head with one of their biggest and most beloved faces. And that's not good. That's not good. Captain Falcore makes his living creating videos about speculation on the game, story, and on lore. And for someone who makes his living on the speculation and the lore of the game, telling Rare very passionately, stop making content, stop making events, fix the damn game. That should be eye-opening to everyone, that someone who's living is that content that they put out, are those events that they put out, and tying it to the lore. His livelihood is about making videos on that stuff, and he's telling them to stop. Because he knows what I've been talking about for a while now. That Sea of Thieves is slowly dying, not because of the beautiful art, not because of the amazing community, not because of the brilliance of this game, but because Rare refuses to get the right people in position to fix the issues that are causing the most pain for players. So as we do, and as we've done in the past, let's take a look at the numbers. June 2020, the Steam launch. Peak players, 66,632 peak players, with an average player, a daily player of 29,454. That decreased exponentially over the next couple months, dropping 26%, 43%, 21%, and 35% before we entered, finally, a good update which addressed bugs, which addressed combat, and which gave us some really interesting, fun things to do in the game in November of 2020. We saw an increase, finally, after the launch of Steam, we saw an increase in 70% in the player base on average. Now, that's still, the numbers there pale in comparison to the Steam launch. On the launch on Steam, again, 66,632 peak players in June. And in November, that peak player base was 27,000 players. The average player base from June was 29,455, and November 10,692. But the big thing here was, after hemorrhaging players for 4 months in a row, Sea of Thieves finally hit an update with a massive jump in players because they addressed combat, they addressed bugs that were critical, and they addressed dry content. November, December, January, as we're getting closer to that season 1, as we're getting closer to the end of the year, they continued to deliver on fixes that the players wanted to see and content that was fresh. And we saw in December an increase of 23% on Steam. On January, the hype for that season 1 was real. We saw 62%. The peak players in January of this year almost got back up to the Steam launch. Peak players in January, 52,916. Almost back up to that 66,000. Again, about 14,000 low, but that's the closest they've got since June. With an average player of 21,000. They hadn't broke 21,000 average players daily since July of 2020. 6 months of decline, and they could not hit the average player base of the second month of the Steam release. Season 1 hits. We get the new merchant voyages. Everyone loves them. Season 1 continues. And what do we see? We see events. We see challenges. We see trials. All reused. We see fishing. Reused. We see Order of Souls killing skeletons. Reused. And now we're entering the final part of Season 1, and we're seeing Gold Hoarder vaults. Reused. And so the hype of Season 1, where we're getting this massive content update, and then what we're supposed to get is 3 quality of life updates, which are supposed to have little content and a lot of fixes. And what we've really seen is the exact same cadence that we saw all of last year of month-to-month updates of content and very little fixing. We've seen the exact same cadence. We've seen the exact same rhythm that we've seen. All that they did was they put a big umbrella over it and called it a season. They changed nothing. They have not changed their cadence to fix bugs. They have not changed their cadence to fit hit registration. They have not changed their cadence. And everyone was hyped about the story of seasons and how the season was going to be the big content update that you work on throughout the season. And that each month we'd have small, teeny tiny events and major bug fixes and work on the fundamentals of the game. That's what we were promised. But they didn't deliver. They haven't delivered. And we can see that in the numbers. In February, 30% decrease in players. Peak players were only 27,000 in February, down 30,000 players at peak from January. Their average players per day was down almost 10,000 players on Steam. Now, mind you, we don't know the Xbox side, but we can anticipate the percentages are probably pretty close. Now, some of you may say, well, it's just because people got the season done. There was nothing new. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Because these events have had you something to do. And yes, the season was quick. And now in March, we're only halfway through March, we've seen another decrease so far of 12% and a decrease in 2,000 more players per day logging in. Because nothing changed. We got the hype gain over the holidays for this new system that's going to fix our issues and give us content that's going to last 3 months. And instead, we got content that lasts a couple weeks, the same size of events, and all the issues that we had last year are still continuing to go. I love this game. I love the art of this game. I love the community of this game. I love playing this game. But I can't constitute spending time, as much as I did and as much as I want to, playing this game where the fundamental just foundation of this game is broken and is being ignored by the developer, and instead they're putting out events, and they're not creative events, they're not new events. They're the same stuff that they've done for update after update after update. And sure, we get new cool rewards that look cool or look janky or whatever. They give us new rewards, but we're still doing vaults. We're still killing skeletons from voyages. We're still fishing up these different fish. We're doing the exact same things that we're doing time and time again. And even the foundation of the season, which was supposed to be the big thing that lasted you 3 months, even that itself, they basically copy-pasted the achievements in the Bildratch section of your achievement book and pasted it in new blocks that are called trials. There's nothing new. There's nothing creative. There is nothing exciting about it. Nothing. And from what I understand, this idea of seasons took them a long time to cook up. Season 1 was something in the works for a very long time. And if this is something that's been in the works for a very long time, dear God, I hate to see where this game is going to go in Season 2 and Season 3. Hell, they might not even make a Season 4 if we're going in this direction. And that's sad, because in vision, this game is artistically brilliant. The things that you can do in this sandbox style world is amazing. The fun interactions you can have with other players, your friends, other pirates you meet on the seas is awesome. But what is killing it is the foundation and the core. And up until recently, we have not seen this massive, huge outcry from some of the biggest faces in the game crying out, stop making content, stop doing events, and fix your damn game. Will something happen? I'm a realist. I study trends and I look at trends and then I apply them to give my answer. And looking at the trends that we've seen from 2000 or from 2020, from talking to friends who've played this game from release and have dealt with the woes since this game has released, my realism inside of me says no, nothing's going to change. Rare has already moved on to their next game, and they will continue to do things for Sea of Thieves to make it profitable with the Pirate Emporium, with the season passes. But they're not going to fix the issues that need fixed. They're just going to move on to the next best thing. That's the realist in me talking. The optimist in me talking says, well, maybe they'll pull the plug on some contracts of the folks who are pushing the design of where the game should be going and actually hire some people that actually look critically at the issues they're facing and design a team and a plan and a timeline to fix it. If that means that we don't get some sort of new content for 6 months, for a year, but we know that reaching into a barrel isn't going to be bugged. We know that wall banging actually is out of the game. It's not. I've seen it. You can wall bang in places that you're not supposed to be able to. Knowing that when we engage in combat with a skeleton and we shoot them, they actually take damage. Knowing that if we get in combat with a player and we shoot a cannon at their ship, we see it pierce the hull, but it doesn't take damage. We pull up our sword in the block formation as another player is swinging theirs, and it properly blocks and stuns. Until Rare shakes up, and don't get me wrong, I love Joe Neat, I love Mike Chapman, I love those guys. I think they're great. But in all honesty, I think their time, especially Joe's, leading this studio and leading this particular game title is at an end. He's created a game, he's created the start, but unfortunately he has allowed the game to fall into disarray. Not the art, not the story, but the fundamentals of the game. And we continue to see that. They do great job at PR and hyping things up. You go to their website, if you go to seaofthieves.com, if you just go there right now, seaofthieves.com, the giant thing on the freaking page is just a giant PR golden child. Best ongoing game 2019, PC Gamer of the Year, 15 million players to date. It is a giant PR just lie. Because if you go here and you look at it, it looks like it's a game that should be competing with Fortnite and Apex Legends and Overwatch and World of Warcraft to be one of the best games out there. And then you actually dive in and you play it and you realize that this game is more broken than a child who chucked a glass bowl down a flight of stairs. Looks pretty on the outside. The glass looks pretty, but it's shattered all over the ground. And until I feel that they have a shakeup in the leadership of that organization, and until they get some hardhead asshole in there who's going to rethink how these updates work and what they focus on, we're going to continue to be playing a game that's beautiful, that has amazing cosmetics, but is so frustrating because the basics don't work. On a positive note, though, I hope everyone is having a safe and wonderful 2021. You can catch my live streams on YouTube, youtube.com/DavramTV. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, notification, all that fun stuff that you know. You can check out my live streams on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We play World of Warcraft right there, and sometimes we play some other variety games. I'll play Sea of Thieves as soon as I find some folks who actually want to log in and play with me. But if I'm soloing, I don't solo on stream. So you can go check that out. Again, please tell your friends about this podcast. Please reach out to everyone you know that plays Sea of Thieves and would be entertained by a podcast. Reach out to me on Twitter as well. DavramTV on Twitter. If you see this on the Reddit page, please leave me a comment. What would you like me to talk about on this podcast? Would you like me to talk some more about lore? Would you like me to go into some other items? I got some great responses from the Sea of Thieves What If podcast. So I've got some great ideas for the next episode of that, but I don't want to squeeze another one of those in too soon. So you guys aren't inundated with that, but I got some great ideas and I appreciate everyone who reached out and gave me great ideas there. You can also check down in the show notes. I have a Discord, which you can reach me at anytime. If you get into the Game Legion Discord, I'd be happy to listen to your suggestions and ideas there. But guys, stay safe out there. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other. I'm Davram, you're the audience, and this has been episode 26 of Pirate Talk Radio.